Well, hello, I'm Elle. I'm the Keystone Stitcher. Welcome back. Today is the very last day of June. I won't have any other time to record, so it has to be today. So, did you guys survive the heat wave? We were part of that. It hit most good portion of the country that doesn't normally have a heat wave, but we had it. Excuse my hair, the humidity is, we're still having humidity. The heat finally broke, so yeah. Anyway, it's summer, right? So with summer, my stitching changes and I don't have as much time. I maybe have a shorter attention span. So I have 6 projects that I've worked on in the last 2 weeks to show you. So let's get started. This first one is my travel project, and it's what I take outside or what I take when I'm going places. So if I have any kind of waiting period, I have something to stitch. Words are very hard today. This is Night Fairy. This is charted, it's a leaflet you can buy from Lanarte, and you can find it on Amazon. And all I did was work on the moon. So yeah, I told you last time that I needed to rip out these stitches because the color was wrong. So I ripped out the stitches, I got a whole new skein, put it in to find out that this color is off and this color is right. I don't feel like ripping all this out, so I think what I'm going to do is just come down and kind of round it out so it's not square. Can you see that squared area? So I'm just going to kind of rip out a few and round it, and then I just worked on putting that area back in. So here's where it was before, and you can see I ripped out those stitches and put them back in. And I don't have a lot done. If I can open this up, you can see I've done part of the wing, came down here, did a little bit of her head, yeah, a little bit of her head, and then her antenna, and I've got one corner, but that's all that I have done. So that's Night Fairy. The next project that I picked up was another one that I had to frog, and this is Resistance is Futile by Long Dog Samplers. And here we go. So I was off on this and this right here. So those two. Everywhere else on this band, I remembered that there was a page break and I was missing a row in Pattern Keeper, except for right there. So luckily, all I had to do is rip out those two, yeah, this one and this one right here. I just had to rip those out, and then I was able to put it back in. And then this flower over here, these stitches right here in this corner were right. Everything else was wrong in this flower. So I ripped all that out and redid it, finished that, and I came down and started the next band. So this was, let me put in a picture of my face of where it was. This was at 47%. I'm now at 57%. So I added 9% to this. This is a piece that I had thought I would do an additional 24% for the year 2024. To complete my 24%, I only need to do 1.28%. So I don't think I'm going to put this away just because I hit the percentage. I think if I feel this, I will pull this out. But that is my long dog. So my next one is Eyes of the Forest, and it will look like this. And this is a piece that I've decided to now color complete. So if you were following along, I started in the middle, worked my way over to the eye, and then I worked over to find the edge, and I thought, hey, I'll just color complete. So you can see my needle down here. I'm working on this right here. I have a few more rows, and then it comes over a little further, and then I have to go up. But I'm color completing, so let me see. Okay, so here's where it was. And this one here, I have put an additional 3% in. I'm at 14.12%. So this is by Inna Baidanko, and you can purchase it from mybobbin.com. I'm not telling you fabrics, guys. Night Fairy is on a 16 count, unnamed antique white. My long dog is on a 20 count Aquarius by Color and Cotton. And the floss is a variegated from HandDyedbyRolanda. You can find her flosses and her fabrics on Etsy. And this is an 18 count that I dyed myself with some red dye. Okay, we're caught up. How is it that I feel like I don't know what I'm doing? See, attention span, it's been gone this month. The next one sadly got very little work in. This is Stone Expression. The artwork is by Giuseppe Miconi. It is charted by StitchingMoonDesigns. And I'm doing this on a 20 count even weave. And here's the whole piece. I put a picture over my face of where it was. I only put in 664 stitches, but I'm now at 42%. So I'm basically just over here filling in this page, and I'm kind of right here filling in this color. So that's all that I'm doing on there. So yeah. My next one got a little bit more work, not as much as maybe I would have liked, but I did work on it for the full 5 days. I just didn't have as much time as I normally would. So this is Four Seasons. This is by Dome. It used to be sold through Soda Stitch. I have now hit 60.28% on this. And let me see, yep, there's the whole piece. So I was working over here. I'll bring that in. So I finished this area here, put these colors in. There were a couple stitches over here missing. Came down, did this. I did all of the ground until I get to about there, and then all this is new. So I will put a photo of that section in over my face so you can see. See if I can just bring that in a little closer for you. So this is a focus. I've been trying to bring this out for a week at a time. But, so that got its week, but then Stone Expression didn't get its week because I decided that I wanted to work on Death in the Garden. We have to talk about the name of this. Megan calls this Death in the Garden, the artist, Megan Majewski. The PDF is called Death in the Garden, but on the website, on UnconventionalXStitch, it's called Dead in the Garden. So if you're looking for it, you may have to find it that way. So this one, I did a lot on this. Every time I sat down to stitch, I wanted to stitch on this. This has all my favorite colors. This has blue, this has navy blue, this has gray blue, this has green blue, this has blue. And here it is. So this one here, I am now at 10.65%. I added 5.5% to this. So when you last saw it, I had these 2 pages done, and I brought some down here. So I finished this page, came up here and started and finished this page, and came down here and started this page. So I'm going to put over my face where it was. And this is on a 18 count, very light pewter by Zweigart. And if I didn't say, this is charted by UnconventionalXStitch. Now let me bring that in. You can see all those blues. Now, really interesting part. See these light colors here? This is going to be the top of her head. I'll put a picture in. You know what? I'll put a picture over my face. You don't need to look at me. So this is going to be the top of her head where her hair comes in. These purples and pinks go right down, and right in this page is where that flower growing out of her eye socket is. So both those pages, there we go, both those pages are coming into some really exciting stitching. So I was having so much fun. I literally had to put this down. I had to make myself do that. But that is all my stitching that I've done. So now I thought I wanted to do a kind of a review, not a real long review, but a review of where I am. So when I started this year, I had 16 projects. I wanted to finish 5. I have finished 3 of those 5 plus 1 other project. So if I can finish everything, it'll be 6 for this year. I currently, my breakdown is that I have 16 total whips, 10 are full coverage, 1 is a full coverage, no background, and I have 6 other projects. My new starts so far, I have 4, and they're all full coverage. They're not giant though. First one is Life Support. I'll put pictures up here. This is artwork by Giuseppe Miconi. It's charted by StitchingMoonDesigns. The next one I already showed you is Eyes of the Forest, my owl. and then Death in the Garden, and then Only the Lonely. I didn't stitch on that this time. So that is by Adrienne Borda. Those are my new starts. I'm happy with where I am. The goal is always to have fewer projects. I'm currently feeling the itch to be monogamous, and maybe it's because it's summer and I don't have as much concentrated time to sit and stitch. So when I do pick up something, I want to work on it for several days, even longer than I usually do. Other than that, I'm going to continue with where I am, but I have 2 projects that I've reevaluated and decided something needs to be done with them. So my first one is Masquerade. This is Masquerade. This is by UnconventionalXStitch. The artwork is by Christopher Lavelle. And here's where I am. So I'm not sure if I wrote down percentage where I am. No, I didn't. So I don't have the percentage where I am on this, but I just worked on this and showed you the last time. My problem with this is, number one, I dyed my own fabric, and I decided I didn't want this to be giant. So I put it on a 20 count, but I was having problems. I didn't dye it the way I normally do. And so while sometimes the fibers will fluff up and your holes will be a little bit smaller, I rarely have a problem with shrinkage. This fabric is a 20 count, it shrunk, and the fibers kind of fluffed up. So I'm having a really hard time getting my needle in here. And this is, can you see the puckering? This is so thick. And let me unfold this and show you the back. Maybe I have my needle in here. So the back is like, it's like tapestry. Trying to get my finger through this to get the needle through, it's just not my finger through the needle through. It's insane. So look at that. That is, and it's, you can't even bend it. You can see it's so thick. So this was a restart because I had started this doing the background, and then I restarted taking the background out. I've decided to purchase a 16 count, and I've already purchased it, a 16 count Aida. I'll dye it at that size on 16 count without background. This is going to measure 23 wide by 36 tall. When I started this, I lived in a different home, and my walls were such that 3 feet tall would have been too big. I had wainscot halfway up my walls, so a 3 foot piece was going to really take up the majority of the wall. I don't have that now. My walls, you can see behind me, there's no wainscot. I have room to put a 3 foot piece, so I will enjoy stitching on it more if I'm not fighting, and I have arthritis in my fingers. If I'm not fighting with that, I'll stitch it more. So my other one, this is Grackles, and this one's a really, I love, this is by Omar Rayan, and I love his artwork. I love this piece. So this is Grackles. When I bought this, I didn't realize that some people who chart cross stitch can really put the time in and get all of the minute details in. And this was charted by Heaven Earth Designs, and they didn't do that. So there are details in the antlers that are just lacking. They're not there. The birds aren't too bad. They're pretty good. I mean, if you don't know the original artwork, you can look and say it's beautiful. I'm not enjoying stitching all this background, and there's a lot of background. This design has 270,000 stitches in it. I'm trying to hold this so you can see it and I can still talk to you. It has 270,000 stitches, and the vast majority will be background. Heaven Earth stopped carrying Omar Rayan, and UnconventionalXStitch started. And they are a company. Jody does incredible work. So I reached out to Jody and I asked her if she could chart this, but without background. And she got back to me, and I don't know how long it'll take, but here's what I'm thinking. she has more than 24 requests for his artwork for her to chart it. And she says it takes a while to do because his colors are so intricate. It takes her a long time to go in and get all those details just right. So I'm tired of holding. I'll let you see the picture. There we go. So it may be a while, but this piece I thought I would pick up from time to time, add a little bit to it, and then I have one project that I want to finish the beginning of next year. It would take me probably until at least summer. And then I was going to make this a focus piece until this was finished. So I'm going to set this aside for now. I'm not going to waste my time adding any more into it. And when and if Jody charts this, at least by next summer, if by next summer when I'm ready to make this a focus piece, if she hasn't gotten to it, then I'll continue on and I'll just accept that there are some details that are not as crisp as I would like. If she has it charted, I have 36,000 stitches in this already, and I will ditch it and start over. So, moving forward, I have 16 projects, but if I take those 2 out, I need to restart Masquerade when my fabric comes. I currently have 14, and I don't know what I'm going to work on. Currently, I'm thinking that, well, Night Fairy will be my travel project, and summertime I go places, so you might see that moon done. Eyes of the Forest is another one that if I'm home, if I'm color completing, I don't have to have all my floss out. I can just have one color. And the other one is Life Support. I'm thinking I could stitch across, and on the far right it's mostly black, so I could outline that area. And when I have little bits of time, because my grandchildren will be here in the morning, tomorrow I will have all 4, and then the 2 are just staying. The younger 2 are staying for the afternoon. The older 2 are staying for. Well, my grandson will be here for a week, and then he'll go home, and his sister will continue to stay for another week or 2. So whenever I have little bits of time to stitch, I could maybe start knocking out that black on Life Support, because it would be real quick, and I don't know, but I'm just going to stitch whatever feels comfortable to stitch with summer. If you did not see, I did a flip through of the Halloween edition from Just Cross Stitch magazine. Check that out. And if you're interested, I have a giveaway of that magazine for you. And with that, I'm going to go. I've got so much to do before I've got 4 children here tomorrow. So I'm going to go. I'm going to upload this and get this all done, and I will see you sometime mid-month to at least do the giveaway for the magazine. But other than that, I probably won't be back with an actual update on my stitching until the 1st of August, when I really have something to show you. So enjoy your summer, enjoy your family. If your children are home with you, if you have children, enjoy, have a great time. Don't get too hot. See ya.